So we've donned our gown, and the next step in donning PPE is to put on a mask. So in our clinics we have several choices of masks to choose from. We have what's called the ear loop mask, and this is easily identified because there's loops on the side of it, and these, you guessed it, go around your ears. We also have a tie mask, and the tie masks have ties instead of loops, and these go around your head and neck. And we have what's called a cone mask or a molded mask, and this one actually has an elastic, a single elastic loop that goes around the back of your head. So first I'm going to talk about the ear loop mask, and this ear loop mask is the most commonly used mask in our clinics. It does have an inside and an outside, a right way and a wrong way to put it on. The inside is identified by the smooth surface. The outside has these little tabs on the outside, and you can tell that those need to go to the outside of the mask. There is a top and a bottom to all of our masks. The top part of the mask is easily identifiable because there's a metal strip that molds to the bridge of your nose on the top of the mask. So when we put this on, what we want to do is we want to mold the bridge of our nose first with the metal strip, and then put a loop around each of your ears. Once you have it in place, we want to unfold the mask so it goes down underneath our chin, and make sure that the bar is molded to your nose. So there's a few do's and don'ts when you're wearing a mask. We want to make sure that we're never touching the mask by the front surface of the mask, and we never want to see you do this. This is bad. We don't want this because this forces cross-contamination to go from the outside of the mask to the inside of the mask, and it will contaminate you. So once a mask is in place, it's on, and we leave it there until the end of the clinical space, and once we're finished with it, then we can take it off. And I'll show you how to take off a mask. As we said, we don't ever want to touch the mask by the front of the mask. We only ever want to touch it by the sides. So we would have cleaned our hands after taking off our gloves, and with clean hands, we want to be careful not to touch your face with hands that haven't been freshly cleaned and could be contaminated. With clean hands, we're going to grasp the mask by the ear loop and remove it completely, and this mask will then go directly into the garbage. We never ever want to see you crumple up a mask or leave a mask on the counter or put it in a pocket. When a mask comes off, it's considered a contaminated piece of protective equipment, and it needs to go directly into the garbage once it's taken off. Now let's talk about the tie mask. So tie masks are frequently worn by those people that aren't easily able to put a loop around their ears, and some people just prefer it's comfortable. So when you first come to clinic, I encourage you to try all the sorts of masks so that you can discern which mask is best for you. So again, this mask has an inside and an outside. It's a little bit easier to tell with this one because there's a color difference between the inside and outside. The more vibrant color goes to the outside of the mask, and the paler color is on the inside of the mask. There is also a top and a bottom, same as the ear loop mask. The top of the mask is identified by that metal bar. So when you're putting on a tie mask, we want to begin by molding the bar to the bridge of your nose, and then we're going to grasp a tie, bring it to the crown of your head, and grasp the other tie, bring it to the crown of your head, and we're just going to tie it up at the top of your head. And you can see the angle of this strap goes up above my ear and to the top of my head. And then with the bottom strap, we're going to tie it, and you can see this tie here goes around the base of my skull or near my neck, and I'm going to tie that here. And once I get everything in place, then we will adjust the mask for a final fit and make sure it's comfortable. We're adjusting the nose and making sure that the mask is unfolded and goes underneath the chin, and then you're ready to work in your tie mask. To take a tie mask off, it's a little bit more tricky because once the ties are undone, we don't want the mask to fall against us. So we're always going to start nape of the neck and lean forward. As you can see, I'm leaning forward so the ties fall away from me. And then I'm going to take the mask and untie the top tie, and by the ties, it will go into the garbage. What we don't want to see you do is take that mask and handle it by the front or tear it off, and we don't want it to cross-contaminate your hands. Of course, every time that we're going to touch our facial PPE, we want to make sure that we clean our hands beforehand. The final mask we'll talk about is called the cone mask. And the cone mask is a little bit more obvious because you can really see that metal bar that goes over top of the nose, and it's shaped kind of like a face. But you need to put it on a little bit differently than the other two masks. So we're going to hold the cone in our hand like a soup bowl, if you will, and then we're going to lean forward and plate our face into the mask and take this strap and push it over top of the top of our head. And you can see that the strap goes to the top above my ear to the crown of my head. And once I have it on, I want to make sure that the nose bar is shaped to my nose and that the bottom of the mask comes down around the curve of my chin. And for the exact opposite procedure, when we're going to take this mask off, when we call it doffing the mask, we're going to take it off, we would then lean forward, grasp the mask by the strap, pull it off of our face, being cautious not to cross-contaminate yourself, and the mask goes right directly in the garbage afterwards. That's masks, which is an important step in our PPE journey.